crazy right now. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I know I look crazy. Don't tell me in the comments below. I'm aware, but we're gonna look much better by the end of this video. So as you guys can tell, this is going to be an all face using just LA Girl Cosmetics. And if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen I got like the biggest PR package from LA Girl Cosmetics. And so they are not sponsoring this video at all. I just figured since I got such a massive box of PR from them, why not do a video just on LA Girl Cosmetics? And I just want to show you guys this box. Like, it's so big, it's not even fitting on my desk. Like, okay, enough of me rambling. Let's just jump right into the video. So the first thing we are going to do is actually prime and moisturize at the same time. By the way, I've obviously already did my brows off of camera because, don't kill me, they did send me a brow product, but my brows take forever to do and I didn't want to do it on camera because, again, we would honestly be here for like 35 minutes. But they sent me over the LA Girl Shady Slim Brow Pencil. They sent me two colors, one in black and then this one is in the color Blackest Brown. And you guys know I love the Benefit Precisely My Brow. I love the ColourPop Precision Brow Pencil as well. This is so good, and I love the tip of this. Like, it's so tiny, so you really get a lot of precision and control over like the brush strokes that you do. I definitely will say, if you are interested in finding a drugstore alternative, please do yourself a favor and try this. It applies so well and it stays on your brows. Alright, let's move on to moisturizer and primer, and they sent me over two products. The first one we have is their HD Moisture Nourishing Face Primer, and then they sent over a Luminous Glow. This is a skin illuminator. This is in the shade Sunlit, and this is just a colorless face primer. So what I'm actually going to do is mix these two. So I'm going to first go in to the face primer, and I was honestly a little on the fence about the face primer because I'm like, this moisturizes. How is this actually going to smooth out my skin? But it actually does smooth out your skin a little bit. So it's actually a really nice face primer. I'm going to take a little bit of the illuminator, just the tiniest bit, and just kind of put it on the back of my hand and mix it. And I'm just going to apply this on my face like it's a moisturizer. And again, I'm also priming with this. Moving on to foundations. They actually sent me over three different shades. So they sent me, we have caramel, we have golden bronze, as well as sand. I actually have my own foundation of this, and I talked a lot about this because I love this foundation. And if you guys don't believe me, I'm just going to show you guys my bottle because it is so beat up, and I honestly needed to buy another one. So this is the one I have, and this is the new one they sent. They not only sent over a couple of different foundation shades, but they also sent me the full collection of the foundation mixing pigments. If you are a working makeup artist, these are going to be a holy grail for you. Like, they do exactly what they're supposed to do in regards to like getting the right shade, whether you need it a little bit more warm, more neutral, if you need to just kind of like lighten up that foundation shade. I probably should have taken this out of the packaging first, right? That would have been smart. And the girl also sent over a sponge. I didn't even know they had sponges. And this is their Pro Sponge. It's a two-piece. I only have one because my mom ended up stealing the other one from me. So, you know, whatever. But I will say it's actually nice and bouncy. So let's just go into foundation with this. Really nice shade for my complexion. Again, like I said, I already have this foundation and I know I love it. So if you do have dry skin, don't worry about this foundation like clinging to dry patches or anything. I would just say, you know, really moisturize your skin before applying the foundation and you'll be fine. Moving on to cream contour and concealer. They of course sent me over a couple of different shades. We have Beautiful Bronze, Cream Beige, and they sent over an orange corrector. I really don't use correctors, so that's just going to stay in the box. But I do have my own Beautiful Bronze because I've used it so many times in my videos. So I'm going to use my own just because this is quite full. So I like to apply this, of course, in those hollows. And of course, let's contour this nose. Y'all already know I like to blend out my cream contour using a brush. This is the NYX number 22 brush. Just like to use like little tapping circular motion just so it doesn't disturb the foundation that I have under here and it keeps that pigment. Switching brushes here, using the Luxie Mini Angle brush because I want something a little bit more controlled to blend out my nose contour as well as my Cupid's bow. Concealer, of course, going into LA Girl Pro Concealer. This is in the shade Creamy Beige. I think Creamy Beige is going to be a little too light for me. They actually did send me over my right shade, but my mom ended up stealing it, and you know how that goes. So I couldn't take it back from her. Yeah, this is a little too light for me, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to still use it because I do really, really like this concealer. When I first started out learning how to like cream contour and like conceal, this was the product that I used. So I'm just going to apply this. And then on top, I'm actually going to mix it in with my Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer. This is in the shade 41. Like I said before, this concealer is a little too like yellow for me. So I think mixing these two, it's going to be fine. And of course, going back into that sponge, wow. That blended out so nicely. What I'm going to do is take whatever is left on the sponge and go under the contour just to kind of like sharpen it and clean it up, so I don't have to apply like extra product. I'm just using whatever is kind of left there. The concealer is not disturbing my foundation at all. It's not breaking up or looking patchy. Like, oh wow, I'm actually really liking the combination of those two. I think I'm going to wear those like really often. Let's quickly set everything. I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Powder. This is a HD setting powder. This is in the shade Banana Yellow, and I just want to I just want to say that I love the shade of this specific banana powder. It's not too yellow, but it's not too like white stark. It's actually really, really perfect for our skin tone. So I'm just going to use this to set under my eyes. Don't forget to apply that powder down the bridge of your nose just to really enhance, you know, that contour, as well as on your forehead. To set the rest of my face now, I'm going to be going into their HD High Definition Matte Press Powder. This is in the shade Warm Honey. This is a really, really, really nice shade. It is super duper pigmented. Set everywhere else that I put foundation as well as that bronzer. Use really, really light pressure because again, you do not want to disturb anything underneath that's liquid. For bronzer and blush, I'm going to be using their Blush Babe palette. This is what this looks like. They have a different palette, so if you are a little bit deeper than me, they have a palette for you. So I'm actually going to be using the contour that's in this palette, which is this shade over here. And I'm going to be using a Morphe and Jaclyn Hill JH05 brush. I look so bronze and contour right now. I love it. So I'm going to move on to blush, and I'm using the same palette. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to mix these two first shades over here. I really like the combination of these shades, and the blushes on these are really, really nice. I do find that they wear really well on my skin, which is really, really important, and they build really nicely. So if you just want something really, really light and more of like a flush, you can of course do that and just use like a light hand. Okay, for highlight, just like they have a blush palette, they also have a highlighting palette, and this is in the shade Sunlight Sensation. It has like 4 different shades in this one. So this is what this looks like. Going into my Milani brush and picking up the first shade here. I'm just gonna pop this right on these cheekbones. You know, I cannot forget the nose highlights. I love a good nose highlight if you guys haven't noticed. Okay, I don't think that LA Girl has setting spray, so I'm going to use one that is affordable just to kind of, you know, stay in that price range. LA Girl, if you are watching this, please make setting sprays if you haven't already. I'm going to be using my favorite Pixie Makeup Fixie Mist. I love this setting spray. It is just so good. Okay, I'm going to go off camera, do one of my eyes, and come back with you guys. I just want to say, the palettes I'm going to show you guys, you are going to die. Well, not literally, you know what I mean. This is so pretty. Like, it's still very colorful and still, like, really out there and different, but it's still very much me, where it's, like, nice and pretty and, like, really girly. Oh, love it. Okay, so let me just say, before I show you these palettes, I'm really very much not the type of person to be like, you need to buy both palettes. I'm very much like, you know, if there's only one palette that I really, really recommend and think that this is what you would really use, I would recommend that one palette. But the new LA Girl Hot Heat palettes are to die for. And I'm telling you, do not buy just one palette. Buy both, because they're just so pretty. The formula is absolutely beautiful. The shimmers and the mattes blend so well. So this one over here is called Vacay Everyday, and then this one over here is called Aloha Vibes. please do yourself a favor and buy both of these. What I will say is that I appreciate that they put the name of the shadows at the back, and I appreciate the fact that these shadows even have names, because we all know drugstore palettes really don't include that. So the first thing I'm actually going to do is set my lids, because I do have a little bit of concealer, and I'm going to be going into the shade Tropics. This is the Aloha Vibes palette. Just taking this shade and buffing out any creasing that I have on my lid, just to make sure everything is nice and clean and crisp. Alright, let's start this look. I'm going into the Vacay Everyday palette. I'm going to be mixing the shade Flame and Voyage over here. And I'm starting in the middle of my lid and kind of just popping it in that upper crease area. Alright, and once I have that nice and blown out, I'm going to be switching brushes, and I'm going to be taking the JH35 and going again back into that same palette and picking up the shade Cabana. I'm placing this shade basically right on top, but just maybe a little bit tighter. Okay, to deepen this up a little bit more, I'm going to be taking my Sigma E25 brush, which is a kind of like tapered blendy brush, and I'm going into the Aloha Vibes palette, and I'm picking up the shade Spirit, and I'm placing this directly into that crease, being really precise with the application. This is basically it for eyeshadows in the crease. I really don't like to use a lot of different shades just because I feel like it's unnecessary and it's giving you guys more work that you don't really need to do. So what I'm going to do is cut out my crease. I'm going back into the LA Girl Pro Concealer. I'm going to apply it on this little tray here. You really don't have to cut out the crease, only if you want to. So the reason why I'm doing it is because I want something to be a little bit more like precise and clean, but you can just go into the shadow if you want. And while that concealer is still wet, I'm going to be taking the shade Mommy, and I'm going to place it right on top. Like, oh, these shadows are so beautiful. Now to clean up that fallout that I have over here, I'm going to show you guys the trick. And it is to use this brush. This is the JH06 brush. This is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collection. I love this brush because of the bristles. It's so flimsy. So you just take this brush and lightly just brush that pigment off, and all your fallout is completely gone. When you're doing any type of look, I will always recommend going back into those dark shades that you use. So I'm going to take that Sigma brush again and going into the shade Spirit, and I'm going to tap this in this outer corner just to make sure we don't have that harsh line, and then take a little bit more and lightly go over that like cut crease. Moving on to our lower lash, I'm going into the LA Girl Shockwave Neon Liners. These liners are so good. I actually bought the blue one. This is Electric Blue, I believe. Yeah, I bought this one for myself and I love it, so I'm happy that I have a backup. But I'm actually going to be going into this like mint green shade. This is in the color Fresh, and I'm just going to pop this in my waterline. I'm taking a JH43 brush, and I'm going to be mixing both of those dark shades that I use in both palettes, and I'm going to be putting this really close in my lower lash line. And when I get to the inner corners, you guys know I love to make a little bit of a tip to blend out those edges. I'm taking one of my favorite brushes here. This is the JH40. I'm picking up the transition shades that I use. I'm just going to place this shadow on the very edge. Just kind of like lightly graze the edge of that shadow and blend it out. I did place a little bit of highlight in my brow bone. I'm going to move on to my inner corner highlight. And I'm going to be taking this gorgeous, delicious shade. This is like a yellow gold. This is called Sunshine. So fitting. And popping this right in that inner corner and dragging it down. Alright, I'm going to go off camera now and apply some lashes, wing liner, as well as some mascara, and I'm going to be right back. Done. Okay, eyes are done. Let's move on to lips. They actually did not send me over lip liners, but that's completely fine, because if you watch my previous, I think it's like an all drugstore haul. So if you watched that video, you guys already know I love these lip liners. These are their Ultimate Intense Stay Auto Liner. This is in the shade Keep It Spicy, so I'm going to line my lips with this. And then for lipstick, they sent over two of their Lipify styles. This is a one swipe intense cream lipstick. They sent over two colors. I am actually going to be going into this one. This is in the shade Hetty. So this is the end of the video. I hope you guys like it. Please don't forget to follow me on Instagram and subscribe since you are already here. You made it to the end of the video. So everything again will be listed down below in the description box. Please buy those palettes when they come back in stock because I'm telling you, they are so worth every single penny. So again, just thank you guys for watching and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!